Hey guys. Alright, my new beginnings in this week. I picked up three number ones and one issue that or one series that's ending. I guess two based upon the trade, but anyway, uh, I picked up iZombie number one, which is a reprint of the iZombie series. I don't know whether or not they're going to reprint these monthly to coincide with the TV series, but yeah, I don't have these issues anymore. I've got them all in trades. So this reprint was kind of cool. It was only $1. If your shop's got this, strongly recommend it. The art on this book is freaking phenomenal, and coloring also. Just a really, really, really good read. And what I was talking about with her friend Millie and Scott and all of that, and just everything that's going on in the iZombie comic. Um, Everything about that is in this first issue. And if you can grab that at your shop for $1, strongly recommend that. So, number ones that I read this week: We Can Never Go Home. Love this cover. A book from Black Mask. Huge supporter of Black Mask. I love Toe Tag Riot. God Killer is an amazing series. Um, what's the other series that I get from? Oh, Pirouette is awesome. If you want a scary, sad clown story, then Pirouette is your story. If you'll hit me up, I can probably send you a digital copy on Pirouette number one if you'd like. Um, yeah, so this is basically a story about these two kids. They both got superpowers. One of them has the power to kill with his mind. The other one is like She-Hulk or something, um, which was pretty freaking cool. What I liked best about this was how Matthew Rosenberg's story just flowed. It's a really wordy comic, kind of, but it didn't seem that way because everything just kind of flowed throughout the story. And the art and coloring in this, Josh Hood's art in this was amazing. Um, Amanda Scartini's coloring was, I mean, just top notch, man. Um, I believe that Oddfellow, whenever he ran his like 3 years on YouTube contest or whatever, one of the questions, or maybe it was me, we were talking about colorist versus inkers, and I was in huge favor of inkers at that point, but now I have to say, man, I'm a huge colorist fan. Every time that I get a comic, it's like the colors are so good now that it just I mean, it is hands down. Colorists are some of my favorite people. Kelly Fitzpatrick's coloring on Neverboy is going to be one of the only reasons that I buy that comic. Tambra Bolivan, uh, her coloring on Wayward is amazing. Penny Dora and the Wishing Box, Sleepy Hollow. The coloring on those are just amazing. Penny Dora, the only reason I bought that comic was because of her coloring. Jordi Belair, anything that she colors is just freaking amazing. Um, but yeah, I mean, next up, I got Jim and the Holograms. I'm a huge Jim and the Holograms fan. I always was. Um, I had this girl that I had a crush on whenever I was a little kid, and she always made me watch Jim. I always kind of liked Jim secretly, and yeah, this book was super good. Um, Once again, the coloring on this book, which was uh, Victoria Roberto, and the art and everything were just phenomenal. The story on this by Kelly Thompson, I really freaking enjoyed. This was like reading a Jim episode, and I've been rewatching Jim on Disney Family. It replays at like 5:30 in the morning. I don't really understand why in the shit anybody's watching Jim at 5:30 in the morning, but I DVR it. Anyway, um, glad that I got this Jim cover. It's odd to me that Jim is the D cover. Um, I almost think that I would like to have the Kimbler cover too, but you know, there's not a lot of glitter. It's actually got this crazy like reflective tape stuff that stickers had a lot in the 80s, which is cool. But that was all in all a really enjoyable issue. Next up, I read Miami Vice Remix. Uh, so, in those comics, I, letterers to me, I underrate a lot. I'm guilty of underrating letterers. It doesn't. I don't know. Letterers are not the thing that I pay attention to. But in this book, the lettering was so bad that I got to give props to We Can Never Go Home. The letterer in that, which was Jim Campbell, did an awesome job in that book. In this, Jim Mumford, or Jim Mahfood, does his own lettering, and while his art is absolutely freaking amazing, um, he doesn't need to letter. They need to hire somebody to letter because there were certain parts in this that the lettering was just almost impossible to read. Made it really hard to read, and really made it less enjoyable. Joe Casey did a great story here. Like once again, it seemed like a Miami Vice episode. Um, this is from IDW, new tag that they've got, which is Line Force, which is apparently going to re-release a lot of these 80s things. Knight Rider, um, Airwolf, um, just a lot of goodness from the 80s that Knight Rider, Airwolf, and then they're going to do a Rampage Jackson comic, I guess. But yeah, this was really enjoyable, and you know, if you like Mahfood's art, strongly recommend it. Next up was the last issue of 13 Coins. This series has been really enjoyable. It's basically about Lucifer getting cast down into a pit. These demons escaped and formed into these 13 coins. There is a firstborn, which I believe is a descendant of Christ. He's got holy blood anyway. When he touches the 13 coins, it reveals the spot where Lucifer is imprisoned, so that these people called the Fallen, which are his demon army, can go and like take over the earth and everything. And this has been a really, really enjoyable series. This is a double-sized last issue. It was $6, which freaking sucked. But Simon Beasley does this, and all of the issues have had sweet freaking Simon Beasley wraparound covers. The only knock I have on this series is that kind of Simon Beasley's art is stuck in the 90s, and that there was a lot of erect nipples and you can't really see that, but like exposed areolas or whatever, was the only knock that I had on this series, was that the art was a little dated. It was very, big fake boobed chicks from the 90s, like everything was back then. Other than that, the story on it was top notch. I mean, I really enjoyed the story. I really enjoyed the ending. It seemed like it's going to be a series that maybe is going to continue, which it's, man, really enjoyed that. And if they continue it, I'll buy the next series also. Last thing was, I picked up the second trade on She-Hulk, which now I have both of them. I read this one, but I'm going to go ahead and reread it so that I can just read the whole series all at once. And yeah, Charles Soule, can't wait for that. Don't really understand why they canceled it. I'm a big She-Hulk fan, and was really excited when she got her own title. Maybe I'm guilty because I didn't buy it in single issues. I waited, picked up in trade, and by the time that I picked up that first trade, they had already canceled the series. So, anyway, I'm going to get off here. I got a lot of comics to read, and I will talk at y'all later.